East Blue, a ship is speeding. The ship has a large dragon-patterned flag on the bow, and the hull is green. There were many people in robes standing on the boat. Standing at the front is a tall young man wearing a green robe with a tattoo of love on his face. This is no ordinary man. He is the legendary Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, known as the most evil person in the world. This time when the Monkey D. Dragon came back, he just wanted to pass through the Goya Kingdom and see the celestial dragons by the way. As a rebel of the world government, Monkey D. Dragon has never seen celestial dragons in his life. And not far from the Revolutionary Army, a warship is also sailing rapidly. A dog head ornament hangs on the front of the warship. On the deck stood a middle-aged uncle. The uncle wore a dog head hat and held a donut in his hand, eating one bite at a time. This middle-aged uncle is Marine hero Garp. It is estimated that Monkey D. Long himself does not know he is about to meet his father. If you know, you will be afraid. This is also thanks to Garp's stick education. Whether it is a Monkey D. Dragon or a future Luffy, there is a natural fear of Garp. The ships of the two sides are about to meet. In less than half an hour, Marine and the Revolutionary Army happen to meet in a sea. Dragon, it seems to be Marine, and the opposite should be Marine hero Garp. Ivankov said. He didn't know the relationship between Monkey D. and Garp, even if they had the same last name. Like Luffy in the original book, Ivankov wouldn't know Luffy was the son of the Monkey D. Dragon if he hadn't said it himself. Garp. The Monkey D. Dragon's face changed instantly. He didn't expect to meet Garp either. This is Garp, the Marine hero. The main thing Garp is his father. The Monkey D. Dragon shivered a little. What should I do now? Ivankov frowned slightly, noticing the Monkey D. Dragon's expression. Dragon. Although Garp is a Marine hero, you don't need to be so afraid, do you? Others also felt that the Monkey D. Dragon was too nervous. So nervous, how can you be the leader of the Revolutionary Army? Dad. Monkey D. Long said abruptly. His forehead was covered in sweat, and he knelt on the ground and shivered. The people nearby opened their mouths in surprise. Even Ivankov was stunned. Long, you said Marine hero is your father, can you be Marine's man? You are Marine. Why do you want to form a revolutionary army? The Monkey D. Dragon stood up at this time and patted his soft legs. Don't talk too much. Let's find a way to run. I know my father very well. This old man beats people whenever he disagrees. Yes, you are right. Let's go now. Ivankov also reacted. This is the Marine hero Garp, not to mention the father of the Monkey D. Dragon. Even Marine is enough for them to eat a pot. Must find a way to escape as soon as possible. Soon, the warships of the Revolutionary Army turned in a different direction. Garp had picked up a huge cannonball and threw it hard. Long, you stinky boy, you actually want to run away. If you don't hurry up and stay with me, don't blame me for being rude if you don't stay. The revolutionaries turned their heads. When they saw the cannonball in the sky that was no less than a warship, everyone's expressions changed. Ivankov wiped the sweat from his forehead. Long, your dad is really scary. Or you can persuade your dad to let him join our Revolutionary Army. The other members of the Revolutionary Army also thought so. If Garp joined the Revolutionary Army, they would be less dangerous. The Monkey D. Dragon had a bitter look on his face. Actually, I want to do it too, but unfortunately, I did say that last time. My dad almost broke both legs, and I never dare to see him again. He still can't forget the last fear. Ivankov looked weird and almost broke his son's leg. Garp is really fierce. No wonder Monkey D. Dragons are so afraid of Garp. Estimated to be played psychological shadow. What are you talking about? Run now. The pirates ran away quickly. Behind, Garp kept throwing shells. The shells were fired one by one, and the combat effectiveness was quite amazing. Monkey dragons are constantly fighting back. Afterwards, Garp was particularly angry. You bastard, don't have a good life. When you are the leader of your revolutionary army, you plan to attack celestial dragons. This is of course Luo Cheng's nonsense. Purely to fool Garp, fool Marine. Let Marine's people do it, and drive the revolutionary army's people away. These people are better off not coming to East Blue. Monkey Dragon's face darkened, and he wanted to know which bastard was the informant. Wrong. He wanted to know which bastard was talking nonsense. When did he want to destroy the celestial dragons? He wasn't an idiot either, and certainly couldn't have done such a stupid thing. After all, those were celestial dragons. Father, you have to believe me. I would never do such a thing. How could I do such a stupid thing? Do you think I am such a person? The Monkey D. Dragon argued loudly that he didn't want to be hunted down by Garp. Too bad Garp completely ignored the monkey D dragon. I don't care. It's all your fault anyway. Let me see you in East Blue in the future. I will never let you go. Garp threw shells in his hands. Each of these shells is huge. The monkey D dragon's face turned green, and he remembered the fear once dominated by Cape. Really scary. The two sides fought like this for a long time. I have been chasing from this side of East Blue to the other side of East Blue. This time, Garp is determined to teach the monkey D dragon a lesson, lest the monkey D dragon try to destroy the celestial dragons. The monkey D dragon was hunted for days and nights before finally escaping Garp's pursuit. Mainly because Garp didn't make up his mind, otherwise the monkey D dragon wouldn't even think about running away. Because of the monkey D dragon's blocking, the monkey D dragon had no chance to come to the Goa kingdom, let alone meet the celestial dragons, let alone meet Sabo. Coast. Luo Cheng stood in a corner, watching the celestial dragons approaching not far away, without saying a word. If he had to say a few words, Luo Cheng could only say two casually. For example, a man should do the same, he can be replaced. Anyway, Luo Cheng is very envious of these celestial dragons. You can eat and drink for free every day and live a life of enjoyment. Beauty is like a cloud, endless wealth. As the celestial dragons approached, a small boat was passing by the celestial dragons. This boat is of course Sabo. Although there is no monkey D dragon, Sabo has decided to go to sea early and become a pirate. Many people saw this pirate ship and their faces changed, especially Sabo's father. But don't get me wrong, the reason why his face changed was purely because he was worried that he would be accidentally implicated. To him, Sabo was just a disgrace. This guy is finished. Yeah. Going to sea next to celestial dragons. Many people feel sorry for Sabo. Not far away, both Luffy and Ace saw Sabo and were equally concerned. Dayton also stood beside him, without saying a word, but with endless worry in his eyes. Celestial dragons naturally saw Sabo, not only did not get angry, but laughed. But there is cruelty in the smile. To go out to sea in front of me, what qualifications does a humble pariah have? Celestial dragons picked up a bazooka, pointed it at Sabo, and pulled the trigger lightly. Boom, a rocket flew out. Luo Cheng looked at the situation in front of him. If he was not careful, Sabo would be completely hit. Once hit, Sabo is also finished. Luo Cheng communicated with his fingers lightly, a breeze blew over, and then took advantage of the fact that everyone was not paying attention, and blew Sabo away at the moment of the explosion. Because of the loud explosion and the smoke, no one saw that Sabo was okay. In the distance, both Luffy and Ace saw it, their eyes widened, their pupils dilated. Sabo. There were also tears in Dayton's eyes, and some couldn't restrain his emotions. Although he is a pirate, he has long regarded the three of Luffy as his sons. Sabo. Luffy and Ace shouted loudly, tears of pain in their eyes, and the two of them just knelt on the ground and burst into tears. On the other coast, a wave rushed over, and a little boy was mixed in the waves. This person is naturally Sabo. Sabo had blood all over his face, blood all over his body, and looked seriously injured. Luo Cheng twitched his fingers. The storm fruit ability activates. A strong wind blew over and sent Sabo into the air, floating behind Luo Cheng. Luo Cheng took Sabo to a hospital soon. This hospital was also confirmed by him recently. The doctors in it are the best doctors in the vicinity, and they have been waiting here for a long time. Doctor, hurry up and treat him well. The injury is so serious, and I don't know who is so cruel. It's cruel to be so cruel to children. The doctor didn't know Sabo either, didn't know that Sabo rammed the celestial dragons, or would never have dared to treat Sabo. Luo Cheng smiled beside him, wondering if he should tell the doctor that the cruel one was celestial dragons. Forget it. Let's not say more, so as not to hurt the young mind of this doctor. Sabo was seriously injured, and it took the doctor a long time to treat Sabo's injury. Did you see that? A teenager appears to have been injured by celestial dragons. Yeah, that person is really pitiful. Many people outside are talking about it. The doctor seemed to have heard it too, and his face changed. Could it be that Sabo was injured by celestial dragons? Luo Cheng leaned slightly beside him, with a sly smile on his face. What? You understand now, you seem to be saying who was cruel. The doctor's face instantly turned pale. Knowing that this was done by celestial dragons, he would definitely not dare to intervene in this matter, let alone say that celestial dragons was cruel. Don't worry, if you don't tell me, who will know? I will take him away at night, and there will be absolutely no danger. Luo Cheng took out a stack of Baileys from his pocket and put it in front of the doctor. The doctor's eyes lit up. Unexpectedly, Luo Cheng actually gave him a large pile of Baileys, so it seems that this is not a problem, as long as he doesn't say it. You have to be lucky. You are the first person to give money to me in my life, and others have always given me money. Luo Cheng said with a smile. He used to eat out for free, and he would never give money. At most, some people's taxes would be reduced or exempted. The doctor completely ignored Luo Cheng's words. At night, Luo Cheng was not in a hurry to leave. Although he said he would leave at night, Sabo was injured and should have waited for a while. The doctor didn't say much for money's sake. Anyway, Celestial Dragons is gone. He doesn't need to worry, let alone others. Think Celestial Dragons wouldn't care about him. After a few days, Sabo finally recovered, but just like in the original book, he lost his memory. Luo Cheng is still very happy. Sabo lost his memory, so he could fool Sabo to his heart's content. The future Marine Admiral level master might even reach the 4 Emperors level. Could Luo Cheng be unhappy? At that time, maybe you can fool Luffy and Ace. Life is full of surprises. A week later, Luo Cheng returned to his base camp with Sabo. Marine 16th Base. Luo Cheng and Sabo came together. Sabo stood at the port and looked at the Marine base in front of him, a little dazed. Having lost his memory, he was a little afraid of the unfamiliar environment in front of him. Luo Cheng patted Sabo's head lightly. Sabo, don't be afraid, this will be your home from now on, and you are also a member of our Marine. Sabo nodded and followed Luo Cheng slowly, meeting many Marines along the way. These Marines are also looking at Sabo. Hey, tell me, is that kid the illegitimate son of Your Excellency the Colonel? Don't be kidding. Your Excellency Colonel is only 18 years old now. That kid is at least 10 years old. Do you think it's possible? Ha ha ha. It seems to be true. Inside the office, Luo Cheng found a place to sit. Sabo was standing next to Luo Cheng, looking at Marine outside the window. Lots of Marines are exercising. Sabo's head hurts and he wants to recall the past, but he can't remember anything. Okay. Don't think about it so much, you will remember it one day, and it's good to save a life. Luo Cheng said next to him. Sabo thinks about it carefully. It seems to be right. Anyway, if he can't remember anything, he might as well never think about it again. We'll always remember later. By the way, brother Luo Cheng, are you Marine? Sabo asked curiously. Although he has lost most of his memories, he still knows about Marine and pirates. Yes, I'm Marine. Luo Cheng nodded and was about to start fooling Sabo. But before he could speak, Sabo spoke first. First, know that Marine, the symbol of justice, specializes in catching those pirates. It can be said to be the representative of absolute justice. Luo Cheng smiled and said nothing. There were 2 Marines who were about to report and wanted to laugh, but finally restrained. A symbol of absolute justice. This is indeed the purpose of Marine, but it has nothing to do with the Marine of their Marine base. These Marines are not good people. You two get me out. Luo Cheng sent the 2 Marines away. He was going to tell Sabo the truth. After all, Sabo was still young, but he would always know later. But to tell the truth, it must be a little tricky, and Sabo must not be dissatisfied. After all, he wants to accept his younger brother. After Marine left, Luo Cheng touched Sabo's head lightly. Sabo, do you know who did it to you? Sabo stood up straight away, feeling a little confused. Who did it? It's those celestial dragons. Luo Cheng told what happened last time, and of course concealed some things. In addition to this, Luo Cheng also spoke about the relationship between Marine and celestial dragons. Including what the celestial dragons did. Sabo was very angry after hearing this. These celestial dragons are really nasty. Why would Marine put up with these celestial dragons? Sabo, you are not very clear. The world government is very powerful, Marine can't stop it at all, and there are many pirates. So our priority is to deal with pirates, followed by world government, but my biggest dream is to get rid of world government and let Marine become a true teacher of justice. Righteous words spoken by Luo Cheng. At least Sabo was infected by Luo Cheng's tone at the moment, and his heart was boiling with enthusiasm. What a great and noble ideal. From Luo Cheng's words, you can hear the power of world government, but Luo Cheng is willing to change the world. This is definitely a lofty ideal. Brother Luo Cheng, don't worry, I will definitely help you. Let's change the world together. Sabo was completely rendered by Luo Cheng. Just like what the Revolutionary Army did in the original. Luo Cheng also fooled Sabo. Okay, Sabo, you have to train seriously in the future. In normal times, go and charge those civilians and merchants. Yes. Sabo nodded immediately. But soon, Sabo reacted with a strange expression on his face. Brother Luo Cheng, you asked me to charge the fee, but we seem to be Marines. Yeah. But we Marine want to develop and have no money, let alone deal with celestial dragons. You don't know what those celestial dragons did. In the next 10 minutes, Luo Cheng talked about celestial dragons again. Basically, the description of celestial dragons is inexorable. Although celestial dragons itself is very evil. Sabo was indignant by what Luo Cheng said, and was full of resentment toward celestial dragons. Luo Cheng noticed Sabo's expression and continued. To change all this and save so many people, more money is needed, so they have to pay. But don't worry, although the money I ask them to pay is a lot, I can definitely protect them from living, and when the world government is overthrown in the future, I can return it all to them. Luo Cheng was not wrong either. If the world government can really be overthrown, then the money will be useless. At that time, it is not impossible to give all the money of celestial dragons to these people. Sabo finally accepted all this after hearing it. I understand, we are borrowing money from them, and we can pay them back when we have money. Although I feel sorry for them, in order to overthrow the world government, we can only do this. Luo Cheng nodded. Children can be taught. This little devil was finally fooled by him, and it seems that it is not lightly fooled. Luo Cheng turned around and wanted to take a step back, but he wasn't that worried. Don't look at him doing bad things now, often exploiting civilians, but there is still a degree, he thinks he is still a good person. But come to think of it, many people regard him as the evil Marine, but it doesn't matter. As long as he can become stronger, Luo Cheng will never care about other people's opinions. On this day, Luo Cheng was resting when suddenly a Marine ran into his office. Lord Colonel, a ship passed through our area without paying protection fees and attacked our Marine warship. Damn, in my protection site, I didn't pay the protection fee. Is it a pirate or a caravan? And I got a ship from the world government. Luo Cheng slapped the table hard, feeling a little unhappy, which was simply cutting off his fortune. But he didn't act rashly. No one knows who this fleet actually belongs to. If it is someone he can't afford to offend temporarily, then he can only endure it for a while. Lord Colonel, it seems to be someone called the Baroque Studio, Marine said. Baroque Studio. Luo Cheng knew who it was, it should be 7 warlords of the sea crocodile. Also a Logia demon fruit power. In terms of strength, it should be slightly stronger. But it doesn't matter, Luo Cheng is not a coward, he is supported by Marine anyway. And sometimes they don't necessarily have to do it themselves. Luo Cheng suddenly had a sinister smile on his face. He has already thought of a good way to rob the Baroque Studio without being discovered by Crocodile. Even if he is discovered in the future, his strength has become more powerful, and there is no need to worry about Crocodile. Lord Colonel, shall we go now? Marine also knew that Luo Cheng was about to start. This kind of person who not only does not pay, but even dares to resist, Luo Cheng will be Colonel Marine for nothing if he does not teach him a lesson. Now you go to requisition a pirate ship for me, and then change into ordinary clothes and go out to rob me. Luo Cheng picked up the Tiankongyun sword on the side, ready to teach the Baroque Studio a lesson. Snatch the whole Baroque Studio away. Clear. The Marines turned and left. On the other hand, Sabo was a little curious. Lord Colonel, go to the pirate ship, we are Marine, do you have a pirate ship? Of course, I have raised a lot of pirates. That's right, Luo Cheng raised a lot of pirates. These pirates have some bounty, and the most expensive is 2 million Baileys. Although they are just some little pirates, they are very useful and can help him teach some disobedient people. For example, those businesses. Sometimes Luo Cheng is inconvenient to do it, so he will let these pirates do it. Luo Cheng seemed to see Sabo's doubts and continued to explain. There are a lot of nobles who are bad people. I, as a Marine, are inconvenient to do it, so I will let these pirates do it. Sabo understood. These pirates really have no dignity. Luo Cheng also snickered. On his territory, these pirates really have no dignity, and dignified pirates have long run away. He also doesn't need such a dignified pirate. It's better to be obedient. A day later, all the pirates in the vicinity came. Luo Cheng asked Marine, whom he trusted, to take off Marine's military uniform, and then took the pirate ship to the direction where the Baroque Studio left. On the sea, a warship was sailing very fast. Sabo was sitting next to Luo Cheng, looking at the sea in front of him, and his heart was a little choppy. This is his first time to go out to sea, but the target is not a pirate. By the way, Your Excellency Colonel, what kind of person is this Baroque studio person? Sabo asked curiously. Oh, this is actually a pirate, but they can't expose themselves, and they burn, kill, loot, and do all kinds of evil. Luo Cheng described the people in the Baroque studio as cruel, thus indirectly showing off his greatness. It's actually cruel to them too. Baroque studios are often deceitful. Pirates and merchants are not spared. Sabo didn't doubt Luo Cheng either, and after hearing Luo Cheng's words, he said angrily. These people are really bad people, so we must not let them go. The nearby Marines looked at each other. They didn't know the Baroque studio. But their Colonel Marine was not a good man. Although he seldom killed, he often plundered people's wealth. And many more. Thinking about it now, Luo Cheng isn't a bad guy either. After all, he didn't kill anyone, so he could be considered a person with a bottom line. After more than half an hour, the pirate ship that Luo Cheng was on finally came to the back of the Baroque studio's ship. At this moment, the people in the Baroque studio didn't know it yet. Drinking and chatting seemed to be very enjoyable. Brothers, those Marines from before, they still want to blackmail us, they are idiots. Yeah, it's just a group of Marines. They dared to attack us. I didn't expect that we would be defeated in 3 or 2 times. When those Marines come over next time, they are still so arrogant, I will let those Marines know how good I am. These people were arrogant, and many even laughed out loud, not knowing that their death was coming. Not long after, the pirate ship came. The pirate ship certainly caught the attention of the Baroque studios. There are pirates coming. I didn't expect there would be pirates. Come on. Let's robbery together. Many people stood up, holding the weapons in their hands, ready to rob the pirate ship. Standing on the pirate boat, Luo Cheng naturally noticed the expressions of these people and wanted to laugh. I don't know what these people think. Really want to die, actually planning to rob him. Sabo, you are also a little master, remember to work hard and don't hold me back. Understood, I will never lose. Sabo was also very excited, pulled his hat, and then pulled the iron pipe on his back, ready to start. Other Marines are already ready. The 2 ships gradually approached. Fire. Fire. Both sides started to move. A gun battle was inevitable. The battle was fierce, with flames and explosions all over the sea. The artillery battle did not last long, and ships from both sides approached quickly. After the boat approached, Luo Cheng jumped easily and came to the Baroque studio's boat. The Marines followed immediately. Sabo followed, just behind Luo Cheng, with a giant water hose in hand, ready to strike. Kill these people and take all their treasures. Members of the Baroque studio shouted. Sabo frowned slightly, somewhat unacceptable. Luo Cheng patted Sabo's head lightly. Have you seen it? Whether it's pirates, Marines, or nobles, there are good people and bad people in this world. The Marines who were pretending to be pirates rolled their eyes, feeling speechless. What is said here is plausible. Not a bad Marine myself. Sabo nodded seriously. He has already decided that he must follow Luo Cheng, who will change the world. People from the Baroque studio immediately came over and surrounded Luo Cheng, everyone with weapons in their hands. Some people have knives in their hands, some people have muskets, and they all have wicked smiles on their faces. Let's get started. Luo Cheng rushed out first, jumped out in 1 step, came to the front of a pirate, and then kicked off with 1 foot. The pirate couldn't hold it at all, so Luo Cheng kicked it flying, and with a thud, he fell into the sea. The people nearby were stunned. They didn't expect Luo Cheng to be so powerful, he didn't look like an ordinary person at all. Just when a few people were in a daze, Luo Cheng pulled out the sword in his hand and waved it a few times, just a few green swordlights. Several pirates nearby were cut in half by Luo Cheng, and a lot of blood splattered all over the ground, looking a little scary. Everyone else was startled. They didn't expect Luo Cheng to be so powerful. Who are you? The few remaining people did not dare to do anything casually. Luo Cheng is obviously very powerful, and he must not be underestimated. Me? Ha ha ha. Laughing wildly, Luo Cheng held his head high. Say my name to scare you all, I'm Admiral Lingling. Bah, bah. I'm the captain of the first team of the famous buggy pirates. Our captain's bounty is 8 million Baileys. Marine. Sabo. The poor buggy pirates were framed by Luo Cheng just like that. Not even Buggy knows. But even if he knew, there is no way. Luo Cheng has not used his name to do bad things once or twice. Many nearby marine bases are controlled by Luo Cheng, and the key is to use the name of the buggy pirates. Go. Big brother is really scary. Sabo covered his forehead. Although I don't know who Buggy is, I'm sure to be unlucky next. Everyone in the Baroque studio was stunned. I thought Luo Cheng was a top player, but he was just a small buggy pirate group. The captain is only 8 million Bailey. The key point: Luo Cheng is not a captain yet, he seems to be a little captain at most. Is a small team leader so powerful now? Don't talk too much, kill all these people quickly, and give me no protection. To give me such arrogance. Luo Cheng almost slipped his tongue. He is also going to leave a living hole, and then go to Buggy, but he can't all die. Kill, kill, kill. After 3 or 2 strokes, most of the people were killed, and the rest were a little scared. Don't kill me, we are from the Baroque studio. That's right, we have a lot of devil fruit cadres in our Baroque studio. The rest fell to their knees and begged for mercy. Luo Cheng didn't care, took a step forward, grabbed one of the pirates, and ripped it hard. There is a kind of instant visual sense of tearing devils by hand. A few minutes later, except for a certain person who was deliberately let go by Luo Cheng and knocked out, everyone else was solved by Luo Cheng. There were dead bodies all over the deck. Standing on the deck, Luo Cheng looked at the people in front of him with a sly smile on his lips. Here comes, hurry up and search for me, don't let go of all the gold and silver jewelry, and you must learn to touch the corpse. Yes. Countless Marines rushed into the cabin immediately, and it didn't take long to find a lot of chests full of weapons and gold and silver jewelry. Luo Cheng stood in front of these weapons and suddenly thought of something. Is there anything more profitable in this world than arms? Although he is a Marine, he can sell arms. You can even build an arsenal, and then sell arms to those pirates and all the countries that join the world government. No way, he has to find a way to make money. You take the money and divide it, and have a good time. Luo Cheng was not stingy either, and gave his subordinates a large sum of money, enough for them to be at ease for a while, but not too much. Thank you, Your Excellency Colonel. The Marines happily accepted the money. Okay, put everything up, don't let the weapons go, take them all, and then you can leave. Luo Cheng waved. The Marines picked up all the weapons on the ground. As long as it is valuable, let it go. Anyway, these things can be sold for money. After everything was done, Luo Cheng returned to the boat and left slowly. Stern. Luo Cheng looked at the Baroque studio ship with a sly smile on his lips. He seems to have found a way to make money. Robbery of the Baroque studio. There is no way to use the money without the owner, but the robbed should be able to use it. Not long after Luo Cheng left, the survivors of the Baroque studio woke up and saw the nearby corpse at first sight. Damn. I will definitely report to the superior, Buggy, you are dead, and I will never let you go. After robbing the Baroque studio, Luo Cheng did not return to naval headquarters. Because he was suddenly interested in robbery. In the past, East Blue was just a backcountry, and there weren't many rich pirates, so he didn't rob. Now he is suddenly interested in robbery. Upside down the mountain, Luo Cheng took his men and crossed it, and then he was ready to go to the Whiskey Mountain on the Grand Line. This is also Luo Cheng's first destination, down the mountain. Many Marines looked at the scene in front of them with surprised expressions on their faces. Even Sabo was very surprised. The first time I saw an upside-down mountain, the world is really strange. Luo Cheng glanced at the upside-down mountain behind. It's nothing, the world is so big, there are always some weird places. He has already seen upside-down mountain, although he has seen it in anime, it is more magnificent in reality. But Luo Cheng didn't care too much. Others recovered quickly. By the way, Colonel, where should we go next? Sabo asked curiously. We're going to Whiskey Hill next, there are a lot of bounty hunters there, and our purpose is to rob them. Luo Cheng had an evil smile on his face. These bounty hunters, who often catch pirates in exchange for bounty, should have a lot of money. All the Marines looked weird. Luo Cheng took action against ordinary civilians, against pirates, and now finally against bounty hunters. It is estimated that Marine will be attacked soon. Little did they know that Luo Cheng had already made a move against Marine. Sabo was still a little curious beside him. Don't bounty hunters deal with pirates? Are we going to deal with them? Yeah, they're rich people too, and we take their money away, and they'll definitely be heartbroken and work harder. So I rob them, which is also an indirect attack on pirates, saving so many innocent civilians. Luo Cheng said righteously. The Marines rolled their eyes again. This is the real Luo Cheng, shameless. Even Sabo was speechless. He knew that Luo Cheng loved money, But when he thought about the heavy task of overthrowing the world government, which required a lot of money, Sabo didn't care. In addition, the previous Sabo also often robbed. Although he lost his memory, his instinct was still there. After a while, the pirate ship arrived at Whiskey Mountain, which is Luo Chang's destination this time. Come on, hang up our pirate flag, and wait for these people to greet us. Luo Chang looked at the small mountain in the distance, with a sly smile on the corner of his mouth. He was very concerned. Others were a little curious and didn't understand why Luo Chang was so excited. The pirate ship gradually docked. On the coast, hundreds of people appeared, holding flowers in their hands, and were welcoming them warmly. Almost had a banner in hand. All Marines, including Sabo, were stunned when they saw the movements of these people. Did we get it wrong? These people seem to be welcoming us. That's right, I saw it too. These people are actually welcoming us. It's hard for them to imagine that now they are pirates, and someone would actually welcome pirates. Sabo also looked at Luo Chang in confusion. There are people in this world who welcome pirates. Only Luo Chang knew that these people were pretending to welcome the pirates, and then dealt with the pirates behind their backs. That's what these bounty hunters do. But there are many newbie pirates who have been fooled. It's a pity that Luo Chang has seen it through. Be careful. These people are just pretending to welcome us, and they will definitely drug us behind the scenes, so pay attention. But don't worry too much, play with them, and rob them all before eating. You don't need to worry so much. After listening to Luo Chang's explanation, everyone nodded. That's it, I really thought they were welcoming us. Fortunately, Your Excellency Colonel is shrewd and saw through the conspiracy of these people, otherwise we will be finished. Okay. Let's get close, don't expose. The pirate ship was gradually approaching. Everyone immediately gathered around. Welcome to the future Great One Piece. Luo Chang's mouth twitched. If these people knew his true identity, which was actually Marine, they probably wouldn't be so calm. You remember, I am a crew member of the famous Buggy Pirates. Luo Chang impersonates Buggy again. The eyes of all bounty hunters lit up. The Buggy Pirates have a lot of bounties. Although I don't know who Luo Chang is, it must not be too bad. Sir, come with us quickly, I have prepared food for you. That's right, it's just a few of us who paid homage to One Piece in advance. Facing everyone's invitation, Luo Chang did not refuse, and brought his subordinates and followed these people to a luxurious living room. A lot of food is prepared in the living room. These foods are the most delicious food, they smell a lot of fragrance, but unfortunately they are all seasoned. Otherwise, you can really enjoy a meal. Sir, this is the food we specially prepared for you here, I hope you don't dislike it. A middle-aged man immediately ran in front of Luo Chang. This person Luo Chang does not know, nor is he from the Baroque studio in the original book. These things are delicious, but unfortunately, why do you add something like Mongolian sweat medicine? Luo Chang sighed. The expressions of the people nearby all changed. They didn't expect Luo Chang to find out. But certainly not so easy to admit. My lord, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, what is Mengan medicine? We don't know this thing at all. Of course the bounty hunters couldn't admit it. Killing is impossible to admit. It doesn't matter, it's okay not to admit it. I like treatment without admitting it. Luo Chang squeezed his fist and made a clicking sound. The faces of nearby bounty hunters have changed. They knew that Luo Chang must have recognized their identities, but they didn't know exactly where they were exposed. Come on, everyone, and take them down. Although the bounty hunter didn't understand where it was exposed, they didn't bother too much and rushed to Luo Chang together. Bang bang bang. The room was full of swords, lights and swords, but almost no one could touch Luo Chang, and he was knocked away by Luo Chang. All fell to the ground. Oh, it hurts so much. This is definitely not an ordinary person. Almost everyone can't beat Luo Chang. Come on, tie everyone up. Torture me, and take all the money. Luo Chang waved his hand, and Marine rushed up immediately. It didn't take long for everyone to be arrested, and then locked in their respective rooms and tortured strictly. Sabo looked at the Marines, and the corners of his mouth twitched. I originally thought that Luo Chang would be tortured, but I didn't expect that there would be no punishment at all. These torture methods are very strange. After about 2 days, Luo Chang got all the treasures and piled them up in a row. If you look closely, there is probably 100 million bellies. Not bad, in such a small place, there can still be about 100 million Baileys, which is equivalent to 500 attribute points. Don't think there are only 100 million Baileys. You must know that even Nami took so long to save 100 million Bailey. It can be seen that 100 million Bailey is already a lot in this place. Very good, I didn't expect you to be so rich, then I will confiscate these things. Luo Cheng only took an integer, 100 million Bailey. Then he sent a little more to his subordinates, and in the end there were several million Baileys left, which he politely left to these bounty hunters. After all, they are also bounty hunters, they're Marines' helpers. They have helped Marines to do so many good things, but they still have to leave a little bit of hard work. It's impossible to kill them. As a pig farmer, how can there be no pigs? All the bounty hunters were about to cry. All of their accumulation over the years was taken away by Luo Cheng, leaving only a few million Baileys, and it seemed that they earned it. Don't cry. There are still millions of Baileys to live for a while, and you can rob those pirates. Luo Cheng took a photo of these people. Everyone wanted to cry without tears. Okay, we can go now. Luo Cheng didn't kill these people. Here are some people from the Baroque studio, the crocodile. He already had the heart to touch Crocodile. Although he is not Crocodile's opponent right now, he will be able to fight Crocodile after a while. Maybe even Crocodile wasn't his match. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I am the captain of the first team of the famous Buggy Pirates, but don't forget. Luo Cheng specially emphasized one sentence. Marine's identity has not been revealed yet. After all, these people are bounty hunters, and it is really inappropriate for Marine to do something with the bounty hunters. Buggy Pirates, we remember you. All bounty hunters have hatred in their eyes. However, considering that the Buggy Pirates may be very powerful, they can only hold down the hatred in their hearts and cannot offend the Buggy Pirates. The Marines next to them rolled their eyes again. Actually slandering the Buggy Pirates again. Everyone, we're leaving. Luo Cheng greeted everyone, and then left on the pirate ship. Everyone looked angrily at Luo Cheng's boat. Damn, so many years of hard work will be in vain. Absolutely can't let them go. The people in the Baroque studio were thinking about whether they wanted to tell their superiors and let them take revenge. On the other hand, on the pirate ship, Luo Cheng distributed some money to everyone, and then collected all the money. Sabo watched eagerly from behind. Lord Colonel, do you have any money from me? Luo Cheng then stopped and turned to look at Sabo. What kind of money do you want? A little brat, come and come, use this money to buy a small candy. Sabo looked at Bailey in Luo Cheng's hands, his face darkened instantly. Lord Colonel, you have just made at least 100 million, give me 50 Bailey, and you can buy a newspaper. Is this appropriate? Luo Cheng thought for a while, then took out another Bailey. Forget it. You said so, then give you 100 Bailey, which is enough. Sabo's hand twitched, reluctantly. It's just too few. Actually only gave 100 Bailey. No, don't let it go. Luo Cheng was about to take back Bailey, but before it could be recovered, it was taken away by Sabo. Since it's given to me, it's mine, and I won't give it back to you. Sabo took back Bailey a little unhappy, too little. Met such a stingy Colonel Marine. What else can he do? After Luo Cheng returned to the cabin, he opened the box containing Bailey and took a careful look. Bailey, who exudes the fragrance of ink, is so beautiful. Sure enough, the robbery came fast. No wonder those pirates love to rob. Should I go rob too? Luo Cheng thinks about it carefully. Robbery is not bad. But first loot East Blue's kingdom, and then loot Grand Lines. To say the kingdom of East Blue, go a kingdom. Luo Cheng had a grim smile on his face. This kingdom is quite rich, and it has to make some contributions to the revolutionary cause of the great Luo Cheng. Come on. Go to East Blue now. The Marine outside immediately turned around and headed to East Blue, returning to Marine 16 base shortly after. East Blue, on a desert island. Buggy looked at the man wearing a black cape and a mask in front of him, feeling a little helpless. He really didn't want to see Luo Cheng. Every time I see Luo Cheng, something happens. He still can't forget the last time he took him to blackmail Marine. It even took control of the nearby Marine base. He could already imagine that if Naval Headquarters knew about this kind of thing, he would definitely be wanted. That's when it's dangerous, but had to come and meet Luo Cheng again. After all, Luo Cheng is too ruthless. He often puts a knife around his neck and chops people if he doesn't agree. Basically every encounter will be chopped to pieces. Lord Colonel, what's the matter with you? Buggy really didn't want to ask Luo Cheng. But look at Luo Cheng's hand, it seems that it is already on the knife, and it will be chopped off at any time. He could already see Luo Cheng's knife light. I'm here to find you this time, because I have a big deal that can definitely make a lot of money. Luo Cheng said solemnly. Buggy's face darkened, and the corners of his mouth were bitter. What big deal? Definitely not a good deal. He could already imagine, either robbing a certain marine base, or robbing those nobles. Each one is not something he can provoke. Can I not participate? Brush. Luo Cheng quickly pulled out his knife and sliced Buggy into pieces again. Buggy recovered quickly. I understand, such a big deal, I naturally want to go. What kind of deal is it? Luo Cheng put his left hand on Buggy's shoulder and pulled him gently, pulling Buggy to his side. I recently discovered a profitable business, that is, the Goya Kingdom, which is very rich. Let's rob that noble. Buggy's face turned green with fright. Robbing the nobles of the Goa Kingdom is terrible. As a low-key person, Buggy would never do anything in the limelight, let alone rob a noble. And it's the Goa Kingdom, the kingdom related to the celestial dragons. Robbery today, absolutely unlucky tomorrow. Lord Colonel, can you change it? This is too dangerous, and the kingdom of Goa seems to be related to celestial dragons. Buggy said with a bitter face. Don't worry, there is absolutely no danger, even if it's celestial dragons. Well, even if it's celestial dragons, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it was your Buggy pirates who robbed me. What does it have to do with me, Luo Cheng, and what does it have to do with my dignified Colonel Marine? Luo Cheng thinks about it carefully. Celestial dragons can't be offended, so he can only blame Buggy for his own bad luck. Buggy. He swore that if he hadn't beat Luo Cheng, he would have slapped Luo Cheng to death. It's abominable. Is this still something people do? Take him to rob and then put all the blame on him. He could already imagine the wrath of the celestial dragons. Buggy shuddered. So scary. Mom, I'm going home. Luo Cheng sighed slightly when he saw Buggy's pitiful expression. Buggy is still very obedient anyway, and it can't be such a pit Buggy. Otherwise, we can pretend to be a Baroque studio, say it's their people, and we won't be discovered. Luo Cheng said tentatively. Fortunately, there is no marine next to him, otherwise he would be speechless. Before robbing the Baroque studio, he pretended to be the name of the Buggy pirates. It's bad enough to rob the nobles and frame the Baroque studio now. But Buggy thought seriously and thought that was pretty good. And it seems that Luo Cheng can't be rejected, so let's agree to Luo Cheng. As long as you are careful, plus Luo Cheng's strength, it shouldn't be discovered by others. Okay, that's it. Buggy also had a grim look on his face. The Goa Kingdom should be very rich. Okay, we'll go now. Luo Cheng was about to leave, but Buggy suddenly grabbed Luo Cheng's arm. Wait, there's one more important thing. What's matter? Luo Cheng listened to the footsteps and turned to look at Buggy. With nowhere to put his hands, Buggy hesitated. Shall we discuss how the property should be distributed at that time? Although I knew it was impossible, Buggy felt that it was necessary to try it. Maybe Luo Cheng's conscience finds out and will give him an extra fortune. Do you need to say this kind of thing? It's very simple. When the time comes, we will be 91 points, and I will be 91 for you. Of course Luo Cheng can't give money. Are you sure it's really you 9 and 1, not just give me 50 Bailey? There was suspicion in Buggy's eyes. Every time he went out to robbery before, he wasted so much time and only gave him so little money. Just enough to buy a newspaper. What, are you doubting me? Luo Cheng raised the knife in his hand and touched the blade lightly. The black hockey covered the blade, bursting with cold light. Buggy's pupils shrank. What a strong hockey. This person can't be bothered. Sure enough, he still thought too much. Luo Cheng absolutely couldn't give him money. 50 Baileys at best. In an instant, Buggy gave up. It's like bankruptcy. It would be nice to be able to buy a newspaper. Some people cannot afford newspapers. I think this distribution method is excellent, so I agree, and we'll go now. Buggy turned and walked away. Luo Cheng followed behind Buggy and boarded Buggy's pirate ship together, and then the two left the deserted island. Pirate ship. Many pirates are standing in the distance of Luo Cheng, and they are still very curious. Who is Luo Cheng? Every time he is with Buggy, he looks very mysterious. And every time Buggy and Luo Cheng are together, they will feel very angry. Little ones, let's go to Goa Kingdom. Yes. Goa Kingdom. Luo Cheng and Buggy sneaked in, but no one noticed. Not a whole pirate group after all. After the two entered the kingdom, they found a hotel to rest and did not rush. At night, it got dark. Luo Cheng came to Buggy's room and threw a piece of clothing to Buggy. Hurry up and change into this dress, put on a hat by the way, and sneak in at night. Buggy glanced at the black night suit in front of him, the corners of his mouth twitched slightly, and he was still quite speechless. He admired Luo Cheng so much that he even thought of night clothes. He also remembered the scene where he and Luo Cheng robbed the Marine base. This kind of thing is unforgettable in this lifetime. Although Buggy was speechless, he didn't think much about it. He immediately put on his clothes, and was ready to go robbery with Luo Cheng. To be honest, Buggy was still a little excited. Going to rob these nobles should be able to make a lot of money. Although I don't know how much he can get in the end. The buggy brought by Luo Cheng quietly left the hotel, then sneaked out of the palace, and sneaked in again. Not a single one was found, not even the palace soldiers found Luo Cheng. The two quickly entered the interior of the palace and found the king's residence. At the moment the king is with the queen. Nothing happened to the two of them, they were just resting. When Luo Cheng and Buggy arrived, they were still sound asleep, completely unaware of the impending crisis. Buggy smiled smugly, finally being able to bully these nobles. Hey, wake up quickly. Luo Cheng patted the king lightly. The king and queen quickly woke up, and when they woke up, they saw Luo Cheng and Buggy, and couldn't help but cry out. But before they could call it out, Luo Cheng and Buggy blocked their mouths in time. I advise you not to shout. If you shout, I can't guarantee that my knife will fall. When the king saw the knife in Luo Cheng's hand, he was terrified. As a king, and a king who only knows to enjoy, he has no dignity and just wants to live by himself. Only by living can you have to enjoy life. Two gentlemen, don't do it, no matter what you want, I can give it to you, just hope you can let us go. The king immediately confessed. Luo Cheng was very happy, and Buggy next to him laughed too. Tell you guys, I'm from the Baroque studio, and we're doing the greatest thing recently, but we just need the support of others, so I hope you can support me. Buggy was speechless beside him. Robbery is robbery, and there is such a high-sounding reason. The most critical is also to falsely blame the Baroque studio. If Buggy knew that Luo Cheng robbed the Baroque studio and framed them for the Buggy pirates, it would not be so calm. The king also cursed in his heart. It's really abominable to dare to rob him. Are there such wicked people in this world? However, seeing the dazzling knife in Luo Cheng's hand, the king hesitated, and finally gave in. I understand, I'm going to let someone else give you 1 million Bailey. 1 million Bailey, who do you think I am? Sending beggars? At least give me 100 times more. Luo Cheng said viciously. Buggy next to him also showed a fierce expression. Faced with these two men, the king and queen were terrified. But the king was about to cry. My lord, I really don't have 100 million Bailey. It's too expensive. What? Not even 100 million Baileys. You are such a poor bastard, you are a nobleman anyway. Buggy next to him was also angry. Yes, do you think we are stupid? Pirates have no money these days, and civilians have no money. But the nobles are definitely rich. All the money is concentrated in the hands of the nobles. This king is definitely rich. The king is indeed rich, and there is still a lot of money, but how could it be handed over to Luo Cheng? Forget it. It seems that the king doesn't want to give money, so there's nothing we can do. We sleep with the queen and princess first, then sell it, and then use newspapers to promote it everywhere. The wife and daughter of the king of the Goya kingdom were sold to work in the Red House. I believe that many people will take care of their business. Buggy was speechless beside him. To be able to say this so indifferently, Luo Cheng is definitely not a marine. Instead, he looks like a heinous devil. The king's face also turned green. If his wife and daughter are really sold by Luo Cheng, and sold to such a place, he will definitely lose face in the future. And Luo Cheng will never let him go. Let's go, kill him first, then take his wife and daughter away. Buggy raised the knife, ready to slash. Don't look at him complaining that Luo Cheng is a bad person, but he is also a ruthless person. The king was on the verge of crying, and almost shouted, but in the end he was a step behind. Luo Cheng stretched out a hand in advance, blocking one of Buggy's hands. Don't kill him in such a hurry, it's just cheap him. Take him away too, and watch your wife and daughter entertain others. This is also a good choice. I rub. Killing hearts. Buggy was a little scared. Luo Cheng was so terrifying to be able to come up with such a ruthless trick. Still cannot offend Buggy in the future. The king was also frightened by Luo Cheng. He was frightened at first, but now he is even more frightened. If such a thing really happened, he didn't know whether he could accept it or not. Wait. I have money, I have a lot of money, give me a chance. The king finally gave in. It's not just some money, the most important thing is to save your life. Money can be earned later. Inside the treasure house of the Goa kingdom, the king and queen shivered. Luo Chang looked at the gold and silver jewelry in front of him, his eyes were full of fire. So much gold and silver jewelry, at least 200 million. It's just a pity, there are still a few. For the king, it seems that some of them can't be ranked. Aren't you hiding it? My lord, there is really no more, and the rest are all given to celestial dragons. The king cried. A snot and a tear. Luo Chang looked a little distressed. But he didn't struggle too much, so many Baileys were enough, and he didn't know if the king was hiding a lot. All this doesn't matter, just be robbed by celestial dragons, anyway, it made a lot of money today. By the way, then your subordinates come over, put on the palace guard's uniform, and take over the guards here. Luo Chang looked at Buggy. Buggy nodded and finally understood why Luo Chang stole so many armors from the palace guards. It turned out that he wanted his men to pretend to be soldiers. The king also understood that Luo Chang planned to attack the nobles, but he did not stop it, and even recognized it. Only by looting all those nobles in one wave can everyone be at the same level. Otherwise, the wealth of those nobles would threaten his dominance. This is the battle between nobles. Luo Chang walked to the king's side and patted the king's shoulder lightly. By the way, let your soldiers go back to rest. They have been on duty for a day and should be very tired. People from our Baroque studio will replace them. Clear. The king confessed. Luo Chang smiled, and then left with a weird smile on his face. The night passed like that. In the early morning of the next day, all the nobles of the entire kingdom came. They did not notice that the soldiers in the palace hall had changed. However, they would never have thought that someone would do something to them. After all, they are nobles, and few people dare to do so. When these nobles came in, Luo Chang was delighted, waved gently, and immediately rushed in dozens of people. These people kidnapped all the nobles. Luo Chang walked in from inside at this time and patted his hands lightly. Everyone, I'm so sorry, you were kidnapped by my Baroque studio. Now, notify your family and hand over all the money. Buggy is also holding a knife in the back. Hurry up and pay, or I'll kill you. Damn, how dare you kidnap me and let me defeat you? The vast majority of nobles dare not do it. Only a few generals dared to do it. As generals, they are quite powerful. Boom. Luo Chang looked at the rushing general and kicked down with one foot, knocking the general into the air. The general rolled on the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood, and the other generals all stopped. I can't seem to beat Luo Chang. How to do this? Pay or die, you only have two choices. Luo Chang took out the knife and walked to the other side. All the nobles were frightened. Remember, you nobles, if you can't get 400 million Baileys together, then all of them will be killed. Now give you some time to think about it. The nobles were a little scared and dared not refuse Luo Chang, so they could only gather around and discuss some things. In the end, these people made a decision, and the family paid some money to buy their own safety. A few minutes later, a big noble walked in front of Luo Chang, a little uneasy. Sir, we agree, but we need someone to inform the family. It doesn't matter, you seem to have servants outside, I can let them in. But you have to think about it. If you rush to call people to attack this place, I will kill you first. When you die, your wife will belong to someone else, and your property will belong to someone else. They spend your money and stay with your wife. Buggy complained in his heart. This is too harsh, and it is estimated that these people dare not have any ideas in their hearts. After all, no one wants this to happen. The nobles nodded, thinking in their hearts, even imagining this scene, their faces turned green. You can't just cheapen other people for nothing. I don't want to have a prairie above my head. We're not going to get in trouble. Next, Luo Chang waited in the hall for a while. The servants of various nobles brought a large box of gold and silver jewelry. The king felt a special heartache. So many nobles have only robbed 400 million Baileys, but he was robbed of 200 million Baileys. Actually, Luo Chang also wanted to grab a little more. But they are afraid that they want too much. These people are reluctant to give up, and it is easy to waste time. In the end, they restrained themselves. Make some money first. My lord, these are 400 million Baileys. All the nobles shivered, and they were afraid that Luo Chang would turn his face and ignore him. Fortunately, Luo Chang is not such a person. Very good, you are doing very well. I will let you go when I get the money. Luo Chang beckoned gently, and the people of the Buggy Pirates came up immediately and took all the treasures away. These nobles looked a little heartbroken, but they didn't dare to stop them, they could only watch these people leave. Luo Cheng finally left, and when he was leaving, Luo Cheng took another look at the nobles in front of him. Everyone, thank you for your support to our Baroque studio. When we make a lot of money, we will never forget you. Buggy rolled his eyes, despising Luo Cheng in his heart. A greedy and stingy guy like Luo Cheng would never give money. Even if you make money, you will definitely get it into your pocket. The nobles naturally didn't believe it, but they could only accept it without tears. Pirate ship. The members of the Buggy Pirates are especially crazy. Because today they robbed so much money in one fell swoop, which is comparable to their income for many years in the past. Buggy was also very happy, but when he thought about the money, most of it belonged to Luo Cheng. Buggy was very disappointed. After working hard for a few days, I don't know how much I can get. Maybe Luo Cheng is reluctant to give. For example, give 50 Baileys and let him buy a newspaper. The key is, does he need newspapers? Buggy walked over to Luo Cheng. This. How should the money be divided? The pirates nearby were a little confused. Captain Buggy, aren't these ours? Yeah, who is this person? What qualifications are there to share? Buggy's face turned green. He did not expect that his subordinates would dare to offend Luo Cheng. Don't you know how powerful Luo Cheng is? By the way, it seems that these people really don't know how powerful Luo Cheng is. Buggy immediately patted the head of his next man and gave him a vicious look. Blind your dog's eyes. Don't you know this lord? All the money belongs to this lord. Although the pirates don't know Luo Cheng, they also know Buggy's character. Buggy admits to being a coward, and definitely can't offend Luo Cheng. A group of pirates reluctantly parted. Don't say that, I am a good person. Since everyone worked hard to get it, I will definitely give you a sum of money. Luo Cheng's words are plausible. Buggy rolled his eyes. If there was a glimmer of hope before, but when he heard Luo Cheng's words, he suddenly felt hopeless. Luo Cheng, a miser who can give so many people money, will never give too much. Sure enough, Luo Cheng just took out a little money and distributed it to everyone, and also to Buggy. Buggy looked at the 50 Bailey in his hand and didn't care, he was already used to it. The pirates nearby were all speechless. This is called giving money. It is true that money is given, but what is the money for? Do you want to buy a newspaper collectively? Okay, the money is given to you. You can't say that I'm not loyal, but I'm very generous. All the pirates collectively rolled their eyes. This is also called generosity, it's so stingy. A day later, Buggy sent Luo Cheng to an island and left. When leaving, Buggy was reluctant to leave. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not that Luo Cheng is reluctant, it's just that he is reluctant to part with the gold and silver jewelry next to Luo Cheng. Too bad he has nothing to do with these jewel boxes. After Luo Cheng sent Buggy away, he called Marine and asked Marine to come and greet him. After hanging up the phone, Luo Cheng looked at the gold and silver jewelry in front of him and opened the system panel. System, recharge me and round up an integer. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host, you have successfully recharged 3,200 attribute points, there are a total of 4,000 attribute points, may I ask if the host has any points? Hearing the sound of the system, Luo Cheng subconsciously looked at the properties on the system panel. Name. Luo Cheng Physical Fitness, 6,000 Hockey, 6,000. Swordsmanship. 5,000 Storm Fruit, 7,000 Attribute Points, 4,000. You are already comparable to the Marine Elite Vice Admiral, please keep working hard, on this sea, you are still scum. Luo Cheng's face turned green when he saw the system's evaluation. Do you despise him so much? Since you look down on him, you can only add points. Dark blue, oh no, system, add 1,000 points each. In an instant, the system panel changed. Luo Cheng's strength has also grown by leaps and bounds. Name. Luo Cheng Physical Fitness, 7,000 Hockey, 7,000. Swordsmanship. 6,000 Storm Fruit, 8,000. Congratulations, you're already the equivalent of a top-notch 7 warlords of the sea, but don't get too complacent, you're nowhere close. There was joy in Luo Cheng's eyes. I didn't expect that it would be comparable to 7 warlords of the sea just by adding a single point, and it's still the top, I believe it's not at the level of Moria. This is just his harvest this month. Sure enough, money came much faster for robbery. In the past, the strength was not good, so it was relatively conservative. Now that the strength is strong, it is time to start his own robbery business. However, the business of protection fees cannot be given up. It's also a good income. By the way, try to see your own strength. Luo Cheng opened his hand, and a storm appeared in his palm. But in an instant, the storm got bigger and bigger, forming a huge tornado, and endless seawater was swept into it by the tornado. A giant waterspout. The waterspout is getting bigger and bigger, with a height of several hundred meters and a width of more than 10 meters. With such a big waterspout, it is estimated that ordinary pirates can't handle it at all. Only the top pirates can fight. Sure enough, it is the wealth system. If you have money, you can become stronger. Luo Cheng only hates why he was not born in the Celestial Dragon's family, so he can make money while lying down. For 10 or 8 years, dare to pull the 4 emperors off their horses. The 5 elders can only be his little brothers. But that's just thinking. Luo Cheng suddenly raised his head and looked into the distance. With a flick of his right hand, the waterspout disappeared. The marine warship slowly approached. After the warship stopped, more than a dozen marines ran over immediately. Lord Colonel. Come on, there are hundreds of thousands of Baileys left here. You can take them and buy some delicious food. Treat your brother well tonight. Yes. Many marines admire it. Even though Luo Cheng is not a good marine, he often collects protection fees and oppresses civilians. But nothing good for them. It is precisely because of this that they support Luo Cheng. Let's go. Back to Marine Base. Luo Cheng got on the warship and waved lightly. The warship turned around and slowly left the island. A few days later, Luo Cheng returned to the Marine 16 base. After the Goa Kingdom was looted, it was natural to report it to Marine as soon as possible. After all, they were robbed of so much money this time, and they were simply bloodletting them. Of course, they couldn't bear it any longer. Marine received the news that Goa Kingdom had been robbed, and naturally wanted Baroque Studio for the first time. Basically, everyone with head and face has been offered a reward. Just the people who know each other add up to 10 million Baileys. Don't look at only 10 million Bailey, it seems to be very small, but in this small East Blue, it is already a high reward. Even Buggy has only 8 million Baileys. The matter of the Baroque Studio soon caused a wave of waves. Not only East Blue knew about it, but even Grand Line knew about it. For example, 7 warlords of the Sea Crocodile. Crocodile was in the office thinking about what to do next, when suddenly a taller girl walked in. President, I think it's necessary for you to read the latest newspaper, you must really want to read it. The girl is called Nico Robin. That's right, Nico Robin, the son of the devil. He is also a member of the future Straw Hat Pirates. But now she's just a Miss Sunday at the Baroque Studio. Because Crocodile wanted to find Pluton, he needed someone who could interpret the text of history, so he took her in. Nico Robin also knew Crocodile's purpose, so he knew that Crocodile couldn't sell her, so he stayed here willingly. Oh, then I want to see what it is, even you recommend it to me. Crocodile is interested in this newspaper. Open the newspaper and read about the Baroque Studio. Baroque Studio is not just his facade, specializing in some things that he is inconvenient to do, and helping him raise funds by the way. So Crocodile was even more curious. After seeing the above content, Crocodile twitched at the corners of his mouth, feeling a little speechless in his heart. Actually robbing a country these days. He was even wanted by Marine. But Crocodile didn't take it seriously. He was a pirate himself, and he was also the 7 warlords of the sea, but it was just a robbery. As long as he doesn't rob something that shouldn't be robbed, such as gold in the sky, he can hold it. Anyway, 7 warlords of the sea. Since the robbery has been robbed, then the robbery is no big deal, let them send the money up. Crocodile wasn't bothered at all, instead he was interested in the money. A nobleman who robbed a country must have a lot of money, and he can be fully developed. Nico Robin didn't answer, just looked at Crocodile with a big smile. The smile looked a little weird. Crocodile had a bad feeling in his heart. Could it be that someone else robbed it? This is the worst of luck. Wanted by Marine, robbing so much money, and finally being robbed by others, his mentality will definitely explode. No, I heard it wrong, our people are not there, they have not been robbed of Goa Kingdom, they have already been defeated. Nico Robin's expression is a little weird. Their Baroque Studio was actually framed by others. This is the first time such a thing has happened. Crocodile's face darkened instantly. They were actually framed by others. This feeling is even worse. Crocodile now wants to find the man who dared to frame him, then fix it hard, and vent his anger. By the way, there is one more important thing. We are in East Blue, and a team was defeated. It seems to be a member of the Buggy Pirates. Nico Robin always felt that it was the Buggy Pirates who pitted him. Crocodile thought so too, His face was a little ugly. A small buggy pirate group dared to pit him like this. Crocodile wasn't sure either, just a little skeptical. But since I doubt it, there is nothing I can do. I will teach the buggy pirates a lesson first and vent the anger in my heart. It was the first time in so many years that someone dared to pit him. Go and let a few people teach the buggy pirates a lesson to see if they did it. If they did it, they would take the money back. After all, it was said that our Baroque studio robbed it, so we couldn't take it cheaply. Crocodile gritted his teeth as he spoke. Since he dared to pit him, he would have to pay the price in blood. Understood. The poor buggy didn't know, he was tricked by Luo Cheng, and Crocodile was the first to suspect him. If I knew, I would definitely cry without tears. Understood. I'll make arrangements now. Nico Robin turned and left. She felt sorry for Buggy right now. It was not good to offend anyone, but Crocodile. Buggy is just a little pirate. What qualifies against the 7 warlords of the sea? Ache. Buggy still didn't know that he was out of luck. He was lying on his pirate ship at the moment, and he was quite unhappy. Damn Luo Cheng, damn Marine, who robbed so much money by himself, gave me a little bit. Thinking of the gold and silver jewelry that Luo Cheng took away, Buggy's eyes turned red. So much money, he can only look at it. If Buggy knew that Crocodile had sent someone to trouble him, it would probably be more of a headache. After all, he got nothing in the end. At best, 50 Baileys, more than enough to buy a newspaper, and not enough to eat a meal. With such a small amount of money, he actually let him take the blame. Buggy complained about that for a while. Luo Cheng was resting when a Marine suddenly walked in with a document in his hand. Lord Colonel, this is the Naval Headquarters document. Order from Naval Headquarters. I don't have time, put it aside. Luo Cheng didn't even look, just fell to the side. Marines are already used to it. As long as it was ordered by Naval Headquarters, Luo Cheng basically wouldn't watch it. Will it be implemented or not, basically depends on the mood. Anyway, most of the tasks were not done, and in the end, an excuse was made directly, and Naval Headquarters was not too entangled. As long as East Blue is calm. Marine put the documents on the table and left. Luo Cheng was lying on the chair by himself, enjoying slowly. Inadvertently glanced at the file. After seeing the Baroque studio on the document, Luo Cheng immediately sat up straight and took the document. After all, the Baroque studio he just faked made a big deal, and now Naval Headquarters has documents about the Baroque studio. So Luo Cheng suddenly thought about the Goa Kingdom. Arrest the Baroque studio, Che, when I'm an idiot. Nothing good at all. And this kind of thing is what I did, and let me arrest them. Do you really think I am an idiot? I will not go to Lousy, whoever likes to go will go. Luo Cheng threw the document aside. Anyway, as long as Naval Headquarters asked him to catch pirates, he would never catch them unless those pirates ran ahead of him. It happens that there is such a thing. Otherwise Luo Cheng would have done nothing and had already unloaded Marine. How could he still be Colonel Marine? Wait, Baroque studio, Crocodile. Luo Cheng suddenly thought of Crocodile. As the 7 warlords of the sea, Crocodile definitely has money. He is currently short of money, and he can rob Crocodile. Even if he can't rob, he can make threats and ask for bribes. As for Crocodile's strength, Luo Cheng doesn't care at all. He now also has the strength of 7 warlords of the sea. Even if he can't beat him, Crocodile can't take him. And Alabasta has Pluton. Since Crocodile has Pluton's idea, he has to pay him a confidentiality fee. It's not too much. It is acceptable to give 200 or 300 million Baileys a year. A greedy look appeared in Luo Cheng's eyes. Got rich. He could even imagine that he was in a sea of gold and silver, and then exchanged a lot of attribute points, and finally became stronger. When he becomes stronger and becomes Marine Admiral, he will collect protection money from all over the world. Up to the celestial dragons, down to the common people. Kindness. Celestial dragons is for now, the status is quite high, but you can start by robbing Crocodile. Here comes. Hurry up and prepare the warship, we will go to catch the members of the Baroque studio now. Luo Cheng jumped out of the window, and landed on the ground smoothly. The Marines immediately began to prepare. Although I was curious why Luo Cheng wanted to catch the pirates, it didn't matter. Who let Luo Cheng be Colonel Marine? Soon, a warship will be ready. Luo Cheng was sitting on the warship, looking out at the sea in the distance, holding the Tiankong cloud sword in his hand, and he was still very excited. Finally, the real entry into the Grand Line. He wants to see the sea, and he has only been in East Blue for so many years. A few days later, Luo Cheng entered the Grand Line again. then crossed Whiskey Hill towards Alabasta. As a traveler, Luo Cheng certainly knows that Alabasta is the base of the Baroque studio. If you want to capture the members of the Baroque studio, you have to go to Alabasta. Alabasta, a desert country. Here are the descendants of 20 former kings. 800 years ago, if the kings of Alabasta were willing to go to the Holy Land Marie Joys, then the kings of Alabasta were also celestial dragons. Lord Colonel, Alabasta is ahead, where are we going now? Adjutant Marine next to him asked curiously. Obviously he came to arrest the Baroque studio, but Luo Cheng actually came to Alabasta. Could it be that the Baroque studio is here, but how could he not know? As an adjutant, a lot of information will pass through his hands, not to mention Luo Cheng has never answered the phone. Let's go to Yudi first, there is a casino here, let's go to the casino for a good stroll. Luo Cheng said. The Marine's faces darkened. It turned out that it wasn't the people who came to arrest the Baroque studio, they just wanted to go to the casino. Sure enough, this is in line with Luo Cheng's character. There is no need to worry about any work, just be happy. Luo Cheng didn't know what these Marines were thinking. He was indeed the one who went to the Baroque studio, and that casino was Crocodile's territory. No idea of going to the casino to play. After all, he doesn't really love money, just to exchange attribute points. But if you can, it seems like you can rob the casino. Luo Cheng had a grim smile on his face. That is, people nearby don't know, otherwise they will be very speechless. Marine actually robbed the 7 warlords of the sea. Once this kind of thing was said, it would definitely arouse the dissatisfaction of the naval headquarters. After passing through a desert, Luo Cheng and Marine finally came to the rain. Lord Colonel, why don't we find a place to rest, the desert is too serious. Yeah, it's too hot, there's no wind at all. The Marines covered their heads, sweat all over their foreheads, and their clothes were soaked with sweat. Is it hot? Why don't I feel it? Luo Cheng stretched out his hand to feel the sky, and there was a cool breeze from time to time. It doesn't seem to be hot at all. Nearby Marine's face darkened. Luo Cheng, a stingy person, even enjoys the storm by himself. They can't enjoy it at all. Of course it's hot. But there is no way, only to endure. An hour later, Luo Cheng took Marine to a casino in Yudi. This is Crocodile's casino. Give me in. At the entrance of the casino, Luo Cheng glanced at it, then waved, all the Marines rushed in. A lot of people inside are gambling. Seeing Marine suddenly appearing, these people were all stunned, forgetting what they should do for a while. Why does Marine appear hot here? Luo Cheng patted his clothes, and then, greeted by Marine, slowly walked into the casino. Many people have noticed Luo Cheng, a Colonel Marine. Seriously, Colonel Marine is really worthless. After all, the owner of this casino is the 7 warlords of the sea, much more noble than Colonel Marine. Luo Cheng enjoyed the welcome glances of the crowd. Everyone, start looting now and hand over all the money. As a Marine who is used to robbing, Luo Cheng has completely ignored his identity and started robbing openly. Everyone in the casino was stunned. What did they hear? Luo Cheng actually wanted to rob. A Colonel Marine, who took so many Marines to openly rob. Is there any sense of morality? Is there any morality left? You are the Marine, upholding justice and protecting the Marines of others. Is this really good for robbery? Even these Marines were speechless. Although they knew that Luo Cheng did a lot of outrageous things, they didn't expect Luo Cheng to openly rob. How embarrassing it would be if it got out. A Marine immediately walked to Luo Cheng's side and said softly, Lord Colonel, we are Marine now, and it seems a little bad to openly rob others. Luo Cheng's mouth twitched. He remembered it now, too. He was a Marine, the kind of Colonel Marine that people could sing about. Now I actually want to rob someone. Cough cough. I was joking with you just now. How could a Marine as good as me be able to rob others? I'm here to tell you this time, if you encounter robbers, you must notify our Marine, and our Marine will do our best to serve you. Luo Cheng nodded solemnly. Everyone present did not believe Luo Cheng. In their eyes, Luo Cheng is a robber. Maybe Luo Cheng stole the Marine skin on his body. Luo Cheng also noticed the gazes of these people, and didn't care, he just found a place to sit down. Now that you've come to the casino, take a gamble and see if you can make money. Crocodile also heard that Marine was coming, but when he heard that it was only Colonel Marine, he didn't care. Only Marine Vice Admiral was qualified to meet him. At the gaming table, many people saw that Luo Cheng was somewhat restrained, even though Luo Cheng was only a small marine colonel, but his status was higher than them. I buy big. Luo Cheng took out a stack of Baileys and put them on the table casually. If you are lucky, you might win. If you are unlucky. I'm sorry, it's small. The dealer smiled, which made Luo Cheng very unhappy. Although he knew that he would lose 9 out of 10 bets, but seeing that he had lost, he was a little unacceptable after all. Especially this croupier, who is not a sexy croupier, deals cards online. This smile makes people even more uncomfortable. Wait. What am I here for? Luo Cheng suddenly reacted. He came to arrest the Baroque studio, and then tried to blackmail Crocodile, and he actually gambled here. At this time, the table should be lifted directly. Luo Cheng reacted, took back his Bailey, and put one hand on the table. The dealer hasn't responded yet. Lord Colonel, you just lost. Boom! Luo Cheng flipped the table up without saying a word. A lot of chips were spilled on the ground, and the table was overturned by Luo Cheng. Bastard! How dare you make a fool of yourself? The dealer looked dumbfounded. After seeing many people lose, he became mad and refused to admit it. It was the first time I saw it playing and I turned my face. Still a Colonel Marine. Can you still play? The surrounding Marines showed such an expression as they expected, and they knew Luo Cheng would do it. As long as it's about money, Luo Cheng will definitely turn his face, and no one's face will be given to him. Cough, cough. I now suspect that you gather to gamble, make illegal profits, and abduct good-looking women. Now everyone is subject to inspection. Luo Cheng drew his sword and was ready to do it. Since it is the trouble of looking for Crocodile, there is no need to waste time. All the people nearby were speechless. This is the first time I have seen such a shameless Marine. If he lost, he turned his face and didn't recognize anyone. The security guard in the casino came over immediately. Lord Colonel, this is our 7 warlords of the sea casino, I hope you can. Snapped before the security guard could finish speaking, Luo Cheng slapped him down and hit the security guard hard in the face. The slap was crisp and loud. Coupled with Luo Cheng's great strength, the security guard was kicked out by Luo Cheng and hit the table on the other side, knocking the table over. 7 warlords of the sea, Crocodile. What kind of thing is he? He's just a pirate. How dare I, the Marine, give him face? Luo Cheng's tone was very arrogant and his attitude was extremely bad, and he didn't take Crocodile seriously at all. He also didn't have to take Crocodile in his eyes. After all, he has the strength of 7 warlords of the sea now. No matter how powerful Crocodile is, he can't help him at all. The people nearby were a little scared and backed away, not daring to intervene in this matter. No matter how small the position of colonel is, it is not something they can offend. Not even the security guards dared to intervene. Hurry up and get Crocodile out. Luo Cheng sat on a stool, leaning back slightly. His attitude was extremely arrogant, and he didn't care about anyone at all. Anyway, many people wanted to beat Luo Cheng to vent their displeasure. In the basement, Crocodile naturally knew what was going on upstairs, and was still quite angry. After all, this is his territory, and someone dares to make trouble on his territory. Even if the man was Marine, he was quite upset. HMPH, a little Colonel Marine dares to come to my site to make trouble. I want to see what capital he has to be so arrogant. Crocodile tidied up his clothes, then walked into the casino and saw Luo Cheng sitting on the most important side. Not to mention, Luo Cheng's aura is quite strong, knocking Erlang's legs, and he has a Marine Admiral level aura. It's a pity that the person in front of him is not Marine Admiral. Crocodile walked in front of Luo Cheng, and there was a slight yellow sand on his body. Sand fruit ability. Like Luo Cheng, it's also from Logia. However, Luo Cheng's storm fruit is very powerful and sounds very hockey. No matter how you look at it, it is a high-ranking fruit. You just dare to come to me. Give peace to the widow. Luo Cheng raised his hand lightly, this momentum, quite a kind of imperial demeanor. Crocodile's face darkened instantly. Although I don't know what pinction means, this tone, this attitude, always has the feeling of celestial dragons. Is a small Colonel Marine enough to be so aura? He, the 7 warlords of the sea, was crushed. Stinky boy, don't think that you are Marine, you can run wild in my territory, believe it or not, I will let you know what real strength is. Crocodile still didn't do it. After all, it's Marine, so you should give Marine a face, even if it's just a colonel, you can't just kill him. Cough, cough, let's not talk about such trivial matters, let's discuss a very important matter. That's right, I recommend a fund for you. As long as you invest 500 million Bailey for me, It will have a 5% return every year, which is definitely worth the money. Luo Cheng said seriously. He can't come directly to Rob, and he can only speak shyly. Crocodile's body trembled, his eyes filled with endless anger. Although he didn't understand what the fund meant. But he understood one thing and asked him to hand over 500 million Baileys. This is clearly a robbery. People nearby also looked at each other. Marine blatantly blackmails the 7 warlords of the sea. Is there any more royal law? And many more. Seems like 7 warlords of the sea are pirates and not good people. Marine. What do you mean? Are you trying to blackmail me? Don't forget, I'm the 7 warlords of the sea. Crocodile clasped his hands together, and a tiny storm raged on his arms, with yellow sand on top of the storm. This should be a dust storm. Luo Cheng glanced at Crocodile. He looked angry, and seemed to have an irresistible urge. What? Crocodile, you are also the 7 warlords of the sea, our Marine's dog. Marine's good friend, shouldn't you help me? Luo Cheng almost spoke his mind. The corners of the people's mouths twitched, and their faces were speechless. They heard it clearly just now. Luo Cheng said that 7 warlords of the sea was Marine's dog. Although it is indeed a dog, it doesn't need to be said. 7 warlords of the sea don't want to lose face? Crocodile was already angry, but when he heard Luo Cheng's words, he became even more angry. Actually describing him as Marine's lackey. The pirates just scolded it, but Marine actually scolded it too. Marine, I originally gave you face. Since you don't want face, don't blame me for being rude. Zhao Benkai stretched out his hand, and a large amount of yellow sand appeared in his palm, instantly forming a huge sand blade. Desert Diamond Sword. A large amount of yellow sand formed a crescent-shaped sword and threw it towards Luo Cheng. Wherever the diamond sword passed, the solid ground was cut. Idiot. Luo Cheng's mouth was arrogant, but he was still vigilant in his heart. After all, it was 7 warlords of the sea. Although it is said that crocodile is delicious, it may not be delicious at all, so be careful as a person. Salsa salsa. Luo Cheng spread out his hand, a huge green wind blade suddenly appeared in his hand, and then gently threw it away. The wind blade and the sand blade collided, causing a huge explosion in an instant. A large amount of yellow sand splashed out. Luo Cheng stepped back quickly and opened up the distance between him and Crocodile. Crocodile just stood there, letting the yellow sand hit him, still standing still. Many people nearby didn't react, so they were submerged in yellow sand. Fortunately, Marine was far away, and nothing happened. But the Marines were also frightened. You retreat, leave this to me. The Marines didn't think much of it, and retreated quickly, then stayed far away. Crocodile didn't do anything, just looked at Luo Cheng with vigilance in his eyes. At that moment, he found that Luo Cheng also seemed to be demon fruit power, and his strength was not bad. Obviously just a very ordinary young man. Who the hell are you? You're definitely not Marine. Crocodile's eyes were full of vigilance. He didn't believe that Luo Cheng was Marine, such a young Marine with such a powerful strength. Is Marine really blind? He would rather believe that Luo Cheng is a pirate, a rookie pirate, than that Luo Cheng is a Marine. Luo Cheng smiled and spread out his right hand. A small storm was taking place in his palm. The storm was surrounded by layers of yellow sand, all rolled up on the ground. Luo Cheng, the commander of Marine East Blue's 16th base, please give me more advice. Colonel at Base 16, East Blue Marine. Are you kidding me? A small Marine 16 base, and a colonel at that place in East Blue, actually has the Logia storm fruit. Or Marine's Logia's devil fruit is too much, it is luxurious enough to be used by ordinary Marine. Do you think it's really good to play with me at this time? Crocodile and it were murderous, gritted their teeth, and there was yellow sand all around the body, and it even made a whistling sound. He didn't believe Luo Cheng was Marine anyway. Even Marine couldn't just be Colonel Marine from a small base. It has to be at Naval Headquarters anyway. And it must be the genius of Naval Headquarters, protected by the entire Marine. There is no way this small place has appeared. Luo Cheng was also speechless. Crocodile just didn't believe him. What could he do? Never put a knife next to Crocodile's neck and warn Crocodile that first I'm Colonel Marine. Forget it. The main purpose today is to rob Crocodile, and put other things aside for the time being. Crocodile, don't waste my time, let's think about investing. As long as you are willing to give me 1 billion Bailey, I promise to make more for you next year. Desert Diamond Sword. Before Luo Cheng could finish speaking, Crocodile started to move, and with a random flick of his right hand, It was a huge sand blade. Crocodile was pissed anyway. It was 500 million Baileys before, but now he actually asked him to provide 1 billion Baileys. This is clearly bullying him. Luo Cheng opened his hand, and a small storm appeared in the palm of his hand, and it continued to expand, and soon formed a huge tornado. The tornado whistled, and the yellow sand on the ground, the broken stone slabs, the tables, chairs, and benches were all blown up by the tornado. There were cracks in the nearby walls. Apparently the storm was too big for even the walls to hold. Luo Cheng threw the tornado out, then quickly rushed out of the casino, dodged far away, and jumped on top of a tall building. Rumbling. With a loud bang, the entire casino collapsed under the impact of the tornado. A large number of rocks were blown away by the tornado. But there are still many stones forming a ruin. The tornado continued to expand, and soon it was dozens of meters high, and it continued to expand, affecting nearby houses. The roofs of many houses were directly torn off. Everyone, run. Many people nearby were frightened and turned around and ran away, for fear of being affected by the tornado. But some remain. These people are Crocodile's men. Crocodile looked at the roaring tornado in front of him with admiration in his eyes. As expected of the crocodile boss, too powerful. Yeah, the power of this sandstorm is really strong. Luo Cheng's mouth twitched slightly. This tornado was created by him, but in the eyes of others, it was created by Crocodile. However, there was a lot of yellow sand around this tornado, and these people naturally thought it was Crocodile's unique trick, a heavy sandstorm. Luo Cheng was a little speechless, but he didn't hesitate. Boom! Among the ruins, a stone slab was suddenly overturned, and a large amount of yellow sand emerged from the stone slab, and then a figure was formed. Logia sand fruit. This is the elementalization of Logia. After Crocodile came out, his expression became more serious. It's just that Luo Cheng is too strong, even he doesn't have enough confidence. But since Luo Cheng is so arrogant, he will never let Luo Cheng go. Although he recognized Luo Cheng's strength, he did not think he would lose to Luo Cheng. Crocodile, there are too many people here, come with me now, I will accompany you to have a good fight. Luo Cheng jumped off the roof and ran quickly towards the desert. Crocodile didn't think much of it, and immediately chased after him. He wanted to teach Luo Cheng a lesson now and vent his anger. It was so frustrating. Going wild on his territory, charging him protection fees, and daring to call him Marine's lackey. Not teaching Luo Cheng a lesson makes me unhappy. The two were one after the other, and soon came to the desert. Arriving in the desert, Crocodile suddenly laughed, with a hint of drama in his eyes. I didn't expect you, a little marine, to dare to go to the desert. This is my home court, and no one is my opponent. That's right, I really can't compare to you. Even in the face of Whitebeard, you just broke a hand, which shows your strength. If Whitebeard were in this desert, he wouldn't be able to beat you. Maybe he would be trampled on the ground and cut off a hand. Luo Cheng said seriously. As if he was inferior to Crocodile, but he was actually sarcasm. Crocodile was a little proud when he heard Luo Cheng's words. Have a look. I still have a reputation, but in the back, Crocodile looked ugly. This is where he is complimenting him, this is clearly mocking him. He slapped his face hard. Crocodile even felt that his face was burning hot. What's the matter? Don't look at me like that, I'm complimenting you. You are indeed very powerful. Whitebeard is not your opponent, and he was beaten away by you. Luo Cheng had some praise in his eyes, as if he really recognized Crocodile. But Crocodile is well aware that this is sarcasm. Stinky boy, it seems that I have to teach you a lesson and let you know your position. Crocodile got angry, and around the body, accompanied by a large amount of yellow sand, formed a small sandstorm. Luo Cheng took a step back and clasped his hands together, both of which formed a small tornado. Heavy sandstorm. Crocodile took the lead. A small dust storm emerged from the palm of the hand, and then threw it out forcefully. The moment the sandstorm hit the ground, it quickly became larger, and a large amount of yellow sand was thrown up, forming a super heavy sandstorm. Heavy tornado. Luo Cheng squeezed his right hand, forming a claw shape, and then a small tornado flew out. The moment the tornado flew out, it kept getting bigger, and soon it formed a huge tornado. A tornado with a height of dozens of meters. The dust storm opposite is also dozens of meters high. Sandstorms and tornadoes collided constantly, fierce confrontation, and countless yellow sands danced in the sky, covering the sky. The two storms are intertwined. Crocodile's pupils shrank. Until Luo Cheng was very powerful, he did not expect that such a powerful sandstorm was actually blocked by a tornado. This ability is basically the same, and the size and impact of the storm are almost the same, and it does not produce an overwhelming advantage. Crocodile leaned slightly, then moved at a high speed, passed through the wind and sand in an instant, and came to Luo Cheng. Desert Diamond Sword. The crescent-shaped desert sword flew out and came to Luo Cheng in an instant. Windblade. Luo Cheng was indifferent, stretched out his right hand, and also threw a huge windblade. The windblade and the desert diamond sword collided with each other. With a loud bang, the Desert King Kong sword was blown up, and only a large amount of yellow sand fluttered, covering the sky. Luo Cheng clenched his hands tightly and rushed into the yellow sand. The moment he rushed in, Luo Cheng used the storm to form a protective shield around him. All the yellow sand was blown away by the storm. Luo Cheng quickly penetrated the yellow sand and jumped right in front of Crocodile, his right hand clenched into a fist. The dark breath bloomed, and it instantly wrapped around the arm, and under the sun's light, it exuded a dark luster. This black armament hockey, like a piece of armor, was worn on Luo Cheng's body. Crocodile's pupils shrank, and his face changed suddenly. It is hard for him to imagine now that Luo Cheng is so young. He already has the Logia storm fruit, and even armament hockey is in control. Looking at the strength of this armament hockey, it is almost the same as his peak, which is enough to see Luo Cheng's strength. Such a powerful person can be a cadre of the 4 Emperor's pirates in New World. Even Marine can be an elite Vice Admiral, just a little Colonel Marine. And he's also a Colonel in Marine's branch. Either Luo Cheng is lying, or Marine doesn't know anyone. But forget it, there's no need to worry so much. Just when Crocodile was surprised, Luo Cheng jumped right in front of Crocodile and punched him down. The space seemed to be torn apart, and bursts of explosions sounded. Luo Cheng also had a windblade on his arm. Crocodile reacted, throwing a fist at him as well. Boom! The fists of the two collided, creating an invisible storm in the void, setting off waves of air. A large amount of yellow sand fluttered, and a huge deep pit appeared on the ground, spreading in all directions. Luo Cheng and Crocodile took a step back at the same time. Crocodile was even more surprised. He didn't expect Luo Cheng to be so powerful. In the collision just now, he took 3 steps back, but Luo Cheng only took 2.5 steps back. It can be seen that his strength is a little worse than Luo Cheng. No, he is no worse than Luo Cheng, he is just evenly matched. Luo Cheng stopped and did not continue. Crocodile, do you still want to do something to me? If you really want to do something to me, then I'm welcome. I can only tell you about you. Crocodile originally planned to do it, but after hearing Luo Cheng's words, he subconsciously stopped. What's wrong with me? Don't talk nonsense. Luo Cheng couldn't help but laugh. Baroque Studio is yours, right? You actually robbed the kingdom of Goa. I am the 7 warlords of the sea and have the legal right to plunder. Crocodile didn't deny it, he was the 7 warlords of the sea, so naturally he couldn't admit it. Then let's not talk about it. Let's talk about another thing. Just talk about your purpose here. Why do you want to take in Nico Robin? Luo Cheng had a playful smile in his eyes. Crocodile's pupils were a little murderous. Luo Cheng actually knew about this kind of thing. If the world government also knows, then even if he is the 7 warlords of the sea, the world government will never let him go. Because the world government cannot tolerate people who study the text of history. How on earth did you know? Crocodile's murderous aura became more intense, but Luo Cheng couldn't do anything, so he could only grit his teeth. Luo Cheng's smile brightened. What? You want to kill me, but unfortunately do you have the ability? Did you kill me? Crocodile was speechless for a moment, because he really doesn't seem to be able to kill Luo Cheng. With Luo Cheng's strength, as long as Luo Cheng wants to run, he absolutely cannot stop Luo Cheng. By the way, you seem to be still looking for traces of Pluton. Would you like me to help you publicize this matter? With the intelligence of the world government, it will definitely be easy to find. Luo Cheng said with a big smile. Crocodile clasped his hands tightly, crackling between his fingers. Luo Cheng actually knew about this kind of thing. Why Luo Cheng knows so much is his secret. Where does Crocodile know that there is a person in this world called a traveler? I just thought Luo Cheng knew too much. What? You want to kill me, aren't you afraid that I accidentally say it out? Luo Cheng was still smiling. What's your purpose? Crocodile confessed. This kind of thing must never be said. Speaking of which, he is finished. What's your purpose? Crocodile's tone was a little off, and his expression was ugly. His dignified 7 warlords of the sea, one of the best pirates in the world, was actually threatened by a junior. Looking at this tone, it is estimated to be extortion. Without a few 100 million Baileys, this matter is not over. Actually, it's very simple. We can be regarded as good friends, and I can't blackmail you. Luo Cheng smiled, but Crocodile didn't believe it. This is absolutely blatant blackmail. Actually, I am also a good person, and I like to share some ways to make money with others. As long as you are willing to invest 500 million Bailey in me, you can make money by then, and everyone can share it equally. You should look down on me as a friend, right? Luo Cheng still had a smile on his face, completely ignoring Crocodile's murderous eyes. Crocodile was also blown away by Luo Cheng. What is a good friend? Will his best friend come to threaten him? What he said was so high-sounding. In fact, he was not threatening him. 500 million Baileys. Does he really think he is a rich man? Although Crocodile was angry and lost his smile, he had to compromise. 500 million Bailey is too much. Although I have money, I don't have that much at all. After all, I still have a lot of people to support. Luo Cheng's smile brightened. Although Crocodile did not agree, it was obvious that a compromise had been made. It's just a matter of negotiating. It's easy to say, although I hope you can invest 500 million Bailey in me, but I will never threaten. Crocodile wanted to slap Luo Cheng on the face, and suddenly killed Luo Cheng. He said it so grandly and said that he would not threaten. Is this still called no threat? Just about put the knife around his neck and let him take out the money. Let's go. Let's go to where you live, and we'll have a good discussion about this investment. Luo Cheng walked in front of Crocodile. Although he was very happy, his attention was always on Crocodile. He was also worried about the crocodile attack, and the necessary vigilance was still there. Crocodile followed, not making a move. The two were one after the other, and soon came to the rain. Many people nearby saw the two of them, and they were still a little puzzled, not understanding why the two were together. And it seems to be in a good relationship. Shouldn't these two be enemies? Shouldn't it be a fight? Neither Luo Cheng nor Crocodile answered these people and walked directly into the casino in Yudi. Although the casino has been destroyed, the basement still exists. The two walked into the basement together. In the crowd, Nico Robin did not rush to leave. She also didn't know Luo Cheng's purpose, but thought it wasn't to arrest her. The most important thing is that Marine is nearby, and it is not convenient for her to escape, so she can only hide here temporarily. In the basement, Luo Cheng and Crocodile discussed about investment, how much Crocodile should invest. It's actually how much Crocodile pays. Although Crocodile was very unhappy, he finally persuaded and offered Luo Cheng 200 million Baileys at one time. Don't think less. Because Crocodile will provide 100 million Bailey every year in the future, it will be Luo Cheng's ceiling fee. Remember, since I've given you money, some things are best forgotten for me. Crocodile said through gritted teeth. Apart from being bullied by Whitebeard back then, he has never been bullied by anyone else in his life. Not to mention being blackmailed by someone else. The bastard Marine in front of him actually dared to blackmail him. When he has a chance in the future, he must kill Luo Cheng and vent his anger. Not a son of man. Don't worry, I will forget about this kind of thing, and I will never say it. Luo Cheng happily counts the money. Crocodile is rich, providing 200 million Baileys, and 100 million Baileys every year in the future. The main thing is that I don't know how rich Crocodile is, and I have no concept of rich people. So there is not much extortion. Wait, look at what you said. Luo Cheng suddenly stopped counting the money. Crocodile's face darkened. He thought Luo Cheng had turned his face, and was almost ready to do it. Look at you. What is blackmailing you? We are discussing investment. Besides that, is there anything else important? Luo Cheng's words are plausible. He is very professional. As long as the money is paid, what should be forgotten is forgotten. Crocodile's expression softened a little. Although he paid 200 million Bailey, he was very unhappy, but as long as he could drive away the bastard in front of him, he would be satisfied. By the way, there is one more important thing. Luo Cheng counted the money, put it in the box, and turned to Crocodile. Crocodile's heart tightened, his hands clenched into fists, the muscles on his arms bulged, and the blue veins on his arms were even more exposed. It can be seen how unstable Crocodile's heart is at this moment. It can even be said to be particularly angry. What else do you have? Crocodile gritted his teeth, his eyes were full of murderous intent, but he managed to restrain himself in the end. It's nothing, it's just that I'm a little tired, and it's not early, so I'm going to rest with you for a night today. But the weather here is cold, and my body is a little thin, so I can catch a cold easily, so I want you to find a beautiful woman to help me warm the bed. Don't look for too beautiful, that is Nico Robin. She has a good figure and a good face. Let her come over to warm me at night. Luo Cheng also shivered deliberately, as if he was very cold. Crocodile's face was ashen, and he wanted to slap Luo Cheng to death. The body bones are relatively thin. Is Luo Cheng's body still thin? Being able to fight with him vigorously, and being so young, he can handle even a viral cold, let alone a common cold. And it seems like a desert country. Although the temperature difference between day and night is relatively large, and the temperature is relatively low at night, it will not reach the step of catching a cold. Also looking for a girl to warm the quilt. He is still a pure person, the so-called virgin. Luo Cheng also wanted to find someone to warm the quilt. Not to mention it was Nico Robin. He had some doubts that Luo Cheng had an idea for Nico Robin. For example, he also wanted to know the historical text, or to know the whereabouts of Pluton. Hurry up and let her come, or you can let her make up her own mind, and do I need to think about her? As for Pluton, you probably don't have any clues yourself. Do you think she would know? Let her come over and warm me up. Luo Cheng waved his hand, looking a little impatient. Luo Cheng, don't go too far. Crocodile said through gritted teeth. He couldn't control himself a little and wanted to get angry. Crocodile, don't talk nonsense, it's not for you to warm the bed, you can let her make a decision. If you don't let her come over to warm the quilt, be careful that I turn my face and don't recognize anyone, and I will refuse what I promise you. Anyway, the money has been obtained. Luo Cheng doesn't care about turning his face and not recognizing anyone. Wait until you become stronger and come back to rob. Crocodile gritted his teeth, his heart was full of endless anger, and he wanted to shoot Luo Cheng to death. But Luo Cheng caught him, and he couldn't kill Luo Cheng. Why don't you let Nico Robin come over and I'll have a good talk with her? Luo Cheng is purely interested in Nico Robin. After all, Nico Robin is quite beautiful. Man, who doesn't like beautiful women? Anyway, he was interested in the beauties in the original book. Not only Belmere, but also Nami and Nokagao, Luo Cheng are interested. There is a word to say. It seems to be called a rice bowl. Cough, cough. Can't talk about it anymore. You wait for me. Crocodile still did not turn his face in the end, and he did not have the capital to turn his face, so he could only accept it silently. Soon, Crocodile found Nico Robin and told about Luo Cheng. Nico Robin's expression was also ugly, but she still decided to have a good discussion with Luo Cheng. Since Luo Cheng loves money so much, he can use it to bribe Luo Cheng. Inside the room, after Nico Robin came in, he saw Luo Cheng, who was drinking, his pretty face darkened. In particular, Luo Cheng's life was very good, which made her very unhappy. I really want to fix Luo Cheng severely. But considering Luo Cheng's strength, Nico Robin could only restrain himself. After Nico Robin came in, he picked up a bag and put it in front of Luo Cheng. Bang! The plastic bag slammed into the table, and the shiny diamonds inside were scattered. Luo Cheng's eyes lit up. These things should be worth the money. As long as you promise to let me go and don't tell me about me in the future, these diamonds will be yours. Nico Robin wasn't worried either. Being able to work with Crocodile shows that Luo Cheng is a corrupt marine. She liked this marine the most in her life. Luo Cheng immediately took the diamond into his pocket, and then coughed lightly. Okay, I didn't plan to do anything to you at first, I just wanted you to warm the bed. It was you who misunderstood. Nico Robin's delicate face turned black again. What does it mean not to do anything to her? It is clearly the power of money that makes Luo Cheng change his mind. Then I'll go. Now that Luo Cheng has been dealt with, Nico Robin doesn't say anything more, turns around and prepares to leave. Hey, I was going to discuss with you about the historical text, but I found a slate of ancient writing. Luo Cheng said abruptly. Nico Robin originally planned to leave, but after listening to Luo Cheng's words, he stopped subconsciously. Historical text. Luo Cheng actually knew the historical text, and it seemed that it was the whereabouts of the historical text. Do you really know the whereabouts of the historical text? There was a strange look in Nico Robin's eyes. Crocodile outside also turned dark. Originally, Nico Robin had already done it, but Luo Cheng was tempted by Luo Cheng. Do you want to know? It's not impossible. In this way, my body is relatively thin, so please help me warm the bed. Luo Cheng snickered in his heart. There was another flame in Crocodile's heart. Thin bones. Who was this talking about? The corner of Nico Robin's mouth twitched, and he wanted to slap it down. Don't think crooked, it's not what you think. I'm just a thin body, so if I want to warm the quilt, I will never do anything to you. I swear, as long as you help me warm the bed, I will tell you where the historical text is, and I will never regret it. Luo Cheng stretched out one hand and raised two fingers, making a swearing to the god expression. Nico Robin just stared straight at him. Don't talk about it. When the time comes, you will hand over all these things to the world government, so you will have nothing. Luo Cheng sighed and prepared to rest. Nico Robin gritted his teeth and walked to Luo Cheng's side, placing his hands on his collar. Wait. Just let you warm the bed, and didn't let you do anything, don't try to take advantage of me. Luo Cheng said righteously. Nico Robin almost died of anger. It was clearly what Luo Cheng said that made people misunderstood, but he even mentioned her. But it's alright, it's just a warm bed. Just don't do anything out of the ordinary. The next morning, the sun slowly rose. Luo Cheng and Nico Robin just hugged each other. The two of them rested together last night. But Luo Cheng didn't do anything. He was very fond of Nico Robin, but he did something out of the ordinary before meeting him for the first time. Anyway, there will be opportunities in the future. After a while, Nico Robin woke up and pushed Luo Cheng gently. Luo Cheng, it's time to tell me the whereabouts of the historical text. Luo Cheng slowly woke up. Although he just woke up, Luo Cheng didn't let his guard down last night. It's in New World, Zhou Island, but your strength is too bad, you are not qualified to enter New World at all. Nico Robin gritted his teeth, got up and left. Hey, this time it's just to warm the bed, next time it's to warm the body, but don't let me catch you. There was a playful smile on Luo Cheng's mouth. Nico Robin's face darkened, she left quickly without saying anything, she didn't want to see Luo Cheng again at all. Too bad. Outside, Crocodile didn't care too much when he saw Nico Robin coming out, as long as Nico Robin didn't leave. And he believed that Luo Cheng knew so much, but didn't do anything, which showed that Luo Cheng had no idea about Pluton. In this case, there is no need to offend Luo Cheng. Half an hour later, Luo Cheng packed up, walked out of the room, and saw Crocodile standing at the gate. Alas, the weather here is too cold, and my thin body and bones, if there is no one to keep warm, it is estimated that I would have frozen to death. Crocodile wants to smoke people. He doesn't want to hear the words weak body at the moment. If anyone wants to say these words to him in the future, he will definitely turn his face and deny him. Then I'll leave. Luo Cheng strode away from Crocodile's house. By the way, don't worry, I will never say anything about Nico Robin and Pluton. HMPH, remember what you said. Crocodile turned his head arrogantly. Luo Cheng strode away. After walking out of the casino, Luo Cheng found Marine and left the rain with his men. When leaving Alabasta, Marine suddenly walked up to Luo Cheng. Lord Colonel, our goal this time is the Baroque studio, should we continue to look for it? Luo Cheng just realized that he still has a mission, and he has forgotten his mission. Beauty Township Hero Tomb. The order goes on, and Naval Headquarters is notified now, saying that the Baroque studio has a relationship with Crocodile, and Naval Headquarters will personally send someone to investigate. That is, Crocodile is not here, otherwise Crocodile will run wild. After taking so many benefits from him, he turned around and sold him. Although some things are not said, it is equivalent to betrayed Crocodile. Naval Headquarters, Sengoku frowned after receiving the news from Luo Cheng. He didn't like these 7 warlords of the sea, but it was the request of the world government. The robbery of the Goa kingdom was actually related to Crocodile. Sengoku, why don't you just call and ask and warn him? Suru Vice Admiral also knew Sengoku's troubles and could only choose a compromise. Sengoku thinks too. Since you can't do anything to Crocodile, you can only warn Crocodile. Soon, Sengoku called Crocodile and gave him a stern warning. Crocodile sounded hazy. It wasn't until Sengoku asked him to take care of the Baroque studio at the end that Crocodile realized that it had something to do with it. He wanted to explain it again, it really wasn't made by their Baroque studio. But thinking about it, Sengoku wouldn't believe it, and Crocodile didn't say much. After hanging up, Crocodile wondered how he was exposed. After thinking about it, Luo Cheng came to mind. It seems that only Luo Cheng knows so much. Could it be that Luo Cheng betrayed him? Crocodile gritted his teeth angrily, clearly saying he would not sell him, but turned around and sold him. Do you want a face? an angry crocodile immediately called Luo Chang. On the other side, Luo Chang heard Crocodile's abuse as soon as he answered the phone. Luo Chang, you went back on your word. Didn't you say you didn't say it? Why did you tell me about me? No, I have promised you both of these things, so naturally I won't say it, but I have never promised you about the Baroque studio. Crocodile's face froze. It seems that this is the case, Luo Chang has never promised him. He. It seems that you misunderstood yourself, so it's none of my business. Luo Chang smiled and was about to hang up. Although Crocodile didn't see Luo Chang's smile, he could think of Luo Chang's awkward face. I really want to teach Luo Chang a lesson. After hanging up the phone, Crocodile became more and more angry the more he thought about it, and his heart was particularly unbalanced, but there was nothing he could do. Damn Luo Chang, don't let me catch you, or don't blame me for being rude. Crocodile could only spit out a cruel word, but there was nothing he could do. Luo Chang was very happy, and even hummed a little song. Marine next to me is very curious. Lord Colonel, you seem very happy, is there anything you are happy about? Oh, nothing, my wife has a baby. Luo Chang said something casually. The nearby Marines all turned dark. What is the reason for this? Does Luo Chang have a wife? Why can't they remember? Don't say it, there's no need to find such a bad excuse. Do they really think they are idiots? Forget it, Luo Chang is the boss, so they don't ask much.